Today, we're diving into an origin story. Not just any origin story, your origin story. It's the one thing every single one of us has in common. The absolutely incredible biological journey of how a human life begins.
I mean, have you ever really, truly stopped to think about it? The microscopic odyssey, the chain of events against impossible odds that all had to line up perfectly for you to be here right now. It is a wild story, so let's get into it.
All right, so before we can get to the main event, we have to understand the blueprint. We're going to start with how the specialized cells are made and the sequence of events that makes everything else possible.
It all kicks off with a process called gametogenesis. Now that's a fancy word, but all it really means is the body's way of creating the two halves of a new whole, the messengers of life, sperm and egg. Without this crucial first step, nothing else can happen. So here's the roadmap for our entire journey. You've got gametogenesis, which we just mentioned, then comes insemination, fertilization, that's the big moment of fusion, followed by implantation, gestation, and finally parturition, which is just the scientific term for birth. This is the whole shebang, from start to finish.
Okay, now let's look at how these crucial messengers, the sperm and the egg, are actually made. Because as you're about to see, their creation stories could not be more different. It's like a tale of two completely opposite strategies.
This is just fascinating. On one side, you have sperm production, or spermatogenesis. It's literally like a non-stop biological assembly line. It kicks into gear at puberty and just runs for life, churning out millions of new sperm every single day. But on the other side, you have oogenesis, egg production. This is more like a high-security limited vault. It actually starts before a female is even born. And by birth, every potential egg she'll ever have is already there. It's a finite, precious resource.
And to put that assembly line idea in perspective, just look at this number, 300 million. That's roughly how many sperm can be released in a single event. It's a strategy of overwhelming odds, a brute force approach, really.
And now for the limited vault. From millions of potential eggs at birth, only about 60 to 80,000 are left by the time puberty starts. It's a tiny fraction. And of those, only one is typically released each month. It's the complete opposite strategy, a huge investment in quality over quantity. The difference is just staggering.
So, you have hundreds of millions of sperm on a mission and one single high-investment egg that's waiting. This brings us to the climax of the story, the moment of fertilization.
It is an absolutely perilous race. All those sperm swim through the female reproductive tract towards the fallopian tube, but a huge number of them don't make it. The very first one to reach the egg and make contact with its outer layer uses enzymes in its head to basically dissolve a path inside. And the very second it gets through, the egg's membrane changes, throwing up a barrier to block all the other competitors. The two sets of genetic material then fuse together, creating a single cell with a full set of chromosomes, called a zygote. And just like that, a brand new, unique genetic blueprint is formed.
And in that exact moment of fusion, something else really important is decided. Here's a cool fact. The egg always carries an X chromosome, always. It's the sperm that can carry either an X times or a Y. So it's the sperm that ultimately determines the biological sex of the baby. An X sperm gives you XX, a female, and a Y sperm gives you XY, a male.
But the journey is not over yet, not by a long shot. This new single cell, the zygote, immediately starts dividing. It goes from 1 cell to 2, then 4, 8, 16, and so on. It becomes this tiny ball of cells called a blastocyst, all while it's traveling down the fallopian tube towards the uterus, getting ready for the next critical step, implantation.
Okay, so once that blastocyst successfully embeds itself into the wall of the uterus, pregnancy has officially begun. And this kicks off what is, without a doubt, the most rapid and complex transformation in a human's entire life, the 9 months of development we call gestation.
So you might be wondering, how does this little growing ball of cells get what it needs to survive? Well, enter the placenta. This thing is an incredible temporary organ that acts as the ultimate life support system. It's the bridge between the mother and the developing fetus, piping in oxygen and nutrients and getting rid of waste. It's amazing.
This timeline just shows you the mind-blowing speed of it all. After just 1 month, the heart has formed and is already beating. By the end of month 2, you've got little limbs and fingers and toes. By the end of the first trimester, most of the major organ systems are in place.
Around month 5, the first movements can be felt, and by the time you get to month 9, a fully developed fetus is ready for the outside world. It's just a miracle of biology.
And that brings us to the final chapter of this incredible journey, the arrival, birth, and those first few moments of life in the outside world.
The process of childbirth, parturition, isn't random. It's actually triggered by a complex set of signals from the fully developed fetus itself. The baby basically sends a signal saying, "Hey, I'm ready." This causes the release of the hormone oxytocin, which leads to uterine contractions. And those contractions stimulate even more oxytocin release, creating this powerful feedback loop that eventually leads to delivery. But the support system doesn't just stop at birth. After the baby is born, the placenta is delivered too. The mother's body then starts producing milk. And this part is so important. The very first milk that's produced, called colostrum, is packed with antibodies. It's like the newborn's first immunization, giving it a foundational immune system to face the world. And there you have it, the journey from the fusion of 2 microscopic cells to the birth of a whole person. It is a biological marvel, an extraordinary, complex, and beautiful process that every single one of us has been through. It's our shared beginning.
So, as we wrap this up, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. The microscopic race against all odds? The 9 months of explosive, perfectly orchestrated development? Or maybe just the simple fact that it all works so beautifully? What part of this incredible journey amazes you the most?